Alrighty, we should be live. We should be recording. I'm not probably gonna wait to have more people come in because we've got a nice crew here already, and I expect some people will kind of filter in as we continue on here. But just to stay on top of it, so everybody can kind of get the good stuff and get on with their days. Yeah, as I mentioned, this is a first kind of era one meeting, I would say, but specifically, it's going to be a kind of a partnership announcement that we'll get to just down the road here shortly. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of go through some things from Era One. The last time we met here for the Elrond Initiative, it was before I moved the date to September 14th. So initially, Elrond Initiative was supposed to launch on September 4th, which really just didn't seem like it was going to set us up for success. Somebody mentioned in that first meeting, they asked about documentation. And I was like, yeah, that would make some sense to have some formal documentation so that people can read something and actually figure out kind of what's going on here. After all, that first meeting clarified that the game was more, it is a game. But specifically, the game is kind of this paid to teach, as what kind of we're coining the term as. So altogether, I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen here, just so I can share with everybody kind of what's been cooking on the Elrond Initiative in terms of just growth, in terms of some accomplishments that I feel like that we have seen. So first and foremost, want to give a quick overview of just like this front page. I pretty much refer to this page alone whenever I'm submitting a contribution. We have the documentation right here, which will be updated. This is always the spot that you'll find the most updated documentation. Sometimes I make some adjustments, as you can see, still trying to kind of adapt the name. And Elrond Initiative is kind of where we're sticking at, although there can be, the Elrond Initiative, whatever feels right in the moment. Nonetheless, we got documentation, and then specifically that Reddit page, as well as the submit contribution here. So pretty much, I advise people just to submit that contribution as soon as they make the thread, they post it to Reddit. Just make that contribution pretty much right off the cuff. Doing so lets me know that a contribution has been made. I'm a little bit behind, but already there have been 8 contributions made in Era 2. So I haven't posted a single contribution since Era 1 ended on Saturday. Been juggling a whole bunch of stuff. And hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank you guys.
Awesome. Thanks for stopping in. We'll do some Q&A and open the discussion kind of towards the end, but right now just kind of referring and talking about the Era 1. So we'll just get back into it here, but thanks for being here,
Right.
everybody. It's great to see everybody. But yeah, so as I was mentioning, submitting that contribution, I odds are I will quote tweet it and share it with everybody, and that's kind of a sign as confirmation that the submission has been submitted. So kind of what the documentation refers to. And hopefully everybody's kind of understanding by now that the Elrond Initiative is, this just all-inclusive team of people trying to learn something themselves and teach it on Twitter. And recently we had a contribution of a TikTok video. The growth is expanding, which was kind of subtly referred to in the documentation. Just this idea of taking initiative. It's up to all of us through that Reddit governance and voting to kind of, as a whole, do we think that a contribution kind of deserves to be a contribution? Does it not? Let's kind of like open up that dialogue. And it's all a matter of supporting each other and kind of like pushing each other to, excuse me, to just improve and make these contributions really matter. So I want to be clear that if I ever like comment on anything, whether it's on Reddit or if it's on Twitter through Elrond Initiative's Twitter or my personal Twitter, I really hope that it's understood that I'm trying to be here to help. First and foremost, I appreciate every little bit of help and all these contributions that people are making. So first and foremost, I'm super thankful of that. But at the same time, how can we do better? And I mean, this should come at myself as well. We're all just humans here, so there's no reason that anybody out there can't kind of say, "Oh, well, Steven, you could do this better, X, Y, or Z." Like I'm not, I don't see myself as any better. As better than anybody else. So please let me know if you think that there are ways that my contributions could be improved. Um, so yeah, just bringing it back around, I want to emphasize the importance of the growth that I feel like we've seen, hitting over 600 followers, kind of midway in between this era too that we find ourselves in now. I'm following all of the initiates, so this is another kind of confirmation that you've made a contribution, and it's kind of been registered as if you're being followed by Elrond Initiative, then that means that you're, an initiate. But specifically, if you can find, if your tweet gets quote tweeted, then that's like confirmation. Thanks for the submission. You're good to go. That's not necessarily like a formal checkbox. It's just I want to put the contribution out there so that we can get more traffic going, and just get those kind of, I guess, just telling the algorithm, hey, this was an important kind of thing going on here. So let's try to pour in the likes, retweets, all that good stuff, just so that that algorithm pushes it to more eyes. Um, so yeah, pretty awesome era one, I would say. Altogether, the entity that was dispersed on, I believe it was Sunday, I think was the day. I can't. Maybe it was Monday that I dispersed all of that. But yeah, so 32 contributions were made over that first era one 10-day period. So huge congratulations, and massive thank you to everybody who submitted those contributions. And of course, pretty awesome that I'm trying to like separate myself from the Elrond Initiative, because pretty awesome that we got Elrond as a reward kind of tied to these era one contributions. That was pretty exciting, and from this point I think I want to emphasize that the price of entity is, again, it's as the documentation clarifies, which I still plan to release a video that goes through documentation and just creates a simple video for people to understand quickly how do I make a contribution, how do I join this team. So that's in the works, but it will be based off of the documentation. So until that comes out, I think that the kind of the focus a little bit is for us to probably be sharing a little bit more about Elrond Initiative. And that's solely just because, the more initiates we add to the team, the more percentage of that treasury will become unlocked. And it's been really cool, really, to see already in Era 2, we have 8 contributions made. And, there isn't any more Elrond kickoff bonus going on. This is just straight entity that we're earning now. So I like that I'm still seeing these contributions come in, of course, confirming to me that there is a passion for people to learn and to disseminate this knowledge out, and it's not a money grab. So people are earning entity, which really is just this token that will come to be as a sign of the contributions made to the Elrond Initiative. And in that, programs and different people will be able to come in and discover individuals who clearly are interested in teaching others about cryptocurrency. So it's kind of like this pool of potential recruits. I'm not sure how many tweets you may have seen or not seen, but at the beginning, basically, it's just like, well, Elrond doesn't really seem to be focusing too incredibly heavily on marketing. And I saw so many different people who were very talented at writing, and they clearly had a depth of knowledge. And I wanted to figure out a way to bring this all together. So that kind of carries me into another point, which is there have been some people who have just had some questions, and one thing led to another, and we are going to have a hashtag that helps us to discover questions from people in the world, I guess, specifically having to do with Elrond. But if it does include blockchain, then I think that works too, as long as it satisfies that submission requirement of raising awareness on or about Elrond network. Still kind of a work in progress, but if you did see recently, last night I believe actually, changed the name of Elrond Initiative. Their at the handle on Twitter is now Elrond Entity. And I think that just agrees with the whole Elrond Initiative, just trying to keep the branding kind of simple. Even I changed on the documentation the Elrond Initiative, or rather just Elrond Initiative. Sorry, made that a mistake myself. So that's been kind of updated. And this is kind of what I meant by or I'm sorry, season one will be almost like this proof of concept, because I'm still figuring things out like this. I want to hear feedback from the initiative as a whole. So that's why early on in era one, I made that poll, and I can't believe it, but after a day or two, I changed it from Eagle Initiative to the Elrond Initiative, and now it's Elrond Initiative. So just bear with me. It's not like you minted an NFT and you're like waiting for like me to like put out, and you're like, when is this gonna start making sense, Steven? Because this is BS. It's just a matter of figuring out what works best, what brand establishes us well, and kind of purports us to be this team of leaders, this team of educators that I've mentioned before. Elrond Initiative is kind of what the motion is for now. Again, emphasizing these links at the top of the bio will make it really easy to just boom, 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 submit those contributions so that I can see them as they come in, quickly quote tweet them, give them a quick read, and try to shed some more light to increase that traffic. So altogether, as I kind of said, really impressed and excited that we had so many people join for Era One, and we had several people making contributions that I thought were really impressive, just showing and setting a standard of what a contribution looks like. So I do want to emphasize that while maybe a contribution and everything might sound really formal and maybe intense, yeah, just kind of watch for me, I guess, this week and as we go forward, because I really want to kind of send the message that we're kind of aiming for simplicity here, which is just a very subtle element, because obviously some topics are going to require a little bit more length to really dive into. But the main reason I want to emphasize this quote unquote simplicity is just so that people feel really welcome and eager to attempt a contribution. Like, I had people in my DMs like asking me like kind of clarifying questions, like, what about this? What about that? And questions are great. No problem with asking questions. But at the same time, ideally people are just able to like take and run with this, and they're able to kind of like move and mesh and really just do everything that they can to create a contribution. And the bar, it's we're still trying to figure out where exactly the bar is for what a contribution is, which is why that Reddit governance is really most important, because while there is no inherent bonus to being one of the top like best voted posts, it's cool that good work will naturally float to the top. If you check this out, and you just scroll through, take a look at some of these posts that are getting a lot of attention. Take a look at the posts that maybe aren't getting so much attention, and just critically ask yourself, look at it and ask yourself, oh, what could have this person maybe done better? Or if it was your post, what could have you done better? And if you're really interested in improving, like, open yourself up for criticism, make it easy for people to share that, because I do want to help. I think oftentimes it's easy for my tone to be a little bit too harsh or strict. Oftentimes I'll try to keep my hands off of things, just for the sake of being respectful and ensuring that people feel valued for the work that they did, aside from just earning entity or a quote tweet or anything like that. That's definitely the goal here, is making sure that people really feel like they did a solid piece of work. So keep everybody in check, keep each other in check. And yeah, really excited to keep on pushing through. I've got to get to posting these contributions. As you can see, we've got 8 responses already, for era 2. So like I said, really excited, to keep on pushing. And with X Day at the end of season 1, it'll be super fun to just keep on pushing through this all together and see where we land. With that, I'll kind of close out the Era 1 recap and leave the rest to the question and answer at the end. But for those who maybe were not aware, hopefully you were aware that the Elrond Initiative has forged its first partnership. So I am proud to announce that the co-founder of which is joining us. So Lucas there representing On Chain Smokers. We will be partnering together, and really excited. And yeah, we have a interview that we'll be publishing as soon as this meeting here is done. I had the opportunity to sit down and chat with Lucas and Willem for well over an hour and 20 minutes or so. And from that, I wrote an article kind of about OCS specifically, as well as what kind of a partnership looks like, of the Elrond Initiative. But yeah, Lucas, if you want to say a quick anything, just thank you so much, and in front of God and everybody, thank you for reaching out to partner with the Elrond Initiative. That is a sign of respect that you're showing to everybody who's made a contribution already. So yeah, I'll give you a quick second if there's anything you want to say to everybody.
Sure. Happy 420, first of all. I can't believe the timing on this. You did very well on that
Thank you,
one.
thank you.
Yes, super excited to one, be part of this as a contributor, but also to highlight all the great work that I think has been done. When I mean, I've been following Stephen for a long time, and I think it's one of these kind of initiatives that is super valuable and kind of is in the spirit of Web3 as well. So having this as a partner, like having these contributions highlighted within our program, or in our Discord and on Twitter, just amplifying the kind of education that I think is needed to bring adoption, not just to Elrond, but to blockchain, the space in general, I think is really exciting. And to do it in a kind of peer-to-peer educational way, to have a strong incentive to become part of a program that does do education in this way, I think is really valuable. So yeah, super excited and grateful to have not just you, Stephen, but everybody who's here kind of be a part of it, and I'm excited to be able to hopefully highlight yeah, everyone's contributions and grow together.
Thanks for that. And thanks again. Really awesome. And looking forward to seeing how we're able to better kind of work together, whether it be through collaboration or just kind of pumping each other up through increasing kind of media attention. That's really kind of like my hope, is just to further spotlight what on-chain smokers has accomplished, and that's identified, I think, in the interview that we did, Lucas, Willem, and I. But specifically, I mentioned the value that I think OCS is bringing to the NFT space altogether, but specifically to Elrond. I just thought that it was so cool, to say the least, that OCS took initiative and is doing these in-person mints, and that to me is truly adoption, is getting in front of people and really taking the time and intentionality to instruct them, this is how to do it, and being able to answer those questions, with no delay, because you're face to face. Yeah, thank you again, Lucas. Thank you to the team at On-Chain Smokers. Really excited to kind of see what comes of this, and if there are any other ways that the Elrond Initiative can kind of boost on-chain smokers, just feel free to reach out to us, and we'll put it up to a community vote and see what we can do about it. Sound good?
Well, really the intention for us was never to get a boost out of, like, for the project specifically. We bring in new people into the ecosystem, and these new people need to be informed about how the ecosystem works, right? Like 95%, maybe more, of our of the people we have onboarded just have no real touch point with blockchain and NFTs and all of that. So we really, we don't want any publicity out of this. We want to educate people, and that's really the goal. If people are interested in what we're doing, that's great, but we really want to amplify the educational aspect of what you guys are doing, or what we are all doing. I guess I'm part of this as well. But yeah, so it's really, it's less about bringing attention to on-chain smokers, although of course if there are people who are interested in that, more than welcome to join. But it's more about bringing in new people into the ecosystem, giving them kind of an anchor of where to find information, where to find quality information, where to find people to connect with. And of course, like, if you're already in the space and if you're part of the on-chain smokers community and you're a more experienced, trader, or blockchain enthusiast, or a builder or a developer, and you want to contribute to the Elrond Initiative, that kind of like opens up that alley as well. So that for us was the kind of impetus, the drive behind partnering with the Elrond Initiative. And yeah, super excited to be able to do that and kind of drive that adoption through education as the goals state.
Yeah, man. That's awesome to hear, and I'm sure everybody appreciates hearing more about that. So yeah, be on the lookout. I think OCS has kind of like maybe a thread, as well as a announcement article talking about it. Yeah, there's going to be some media to consume. I'm excited to share this interview that I had with Willem and Lucas. I know, Lucas, you were kind of asking me like, oh, I hope that was like useful, and it's like, dude, like, of course, like that was really great. It's kind of like just one more piece that people can add to the puzzle of both what Elrond Initiative is and on-chain smokers. So yeah, check out that video. I'll drop the links in on the Twitter page shortly after this meeting, so everybody can kind of check it out and read more about just OCS, the partnership with Elrond Initiative, and yeah, just kind of understanding better about, if it's not already obvious, kind of what some of the main missions these days are, and how people are going about this idea of adoption. So take and learn from what OCS is doing, and yeah, write them a thread, because if you write a thread, since they are a project building on Elrond network, you can classify that as a contribution. So yeah, if you don't know anything about on-chain smokers, and you want to dive into what they're offering, then yeah, I'm sure the community over there, and the core team would be happy to see that. Yeah, thanks again, Lucas, and appreciate you being here to say hey to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, just to pick up on that for a second, I think there's a couple of things that I actually wanted to write for the Elrond team, and maybe it's a good contribution for the initiative as well, which is like the kind of lessons learned from what we're doing when we're doing, going to a shop, having the Meyer app and like the Elrond backend on our side, let's say. But there's some stuff that doesn't work. There's some questions that always come up. I might turn that into some sort of thread and document, and also to present it to Elrond, actually, in order, because I don't think it's been done at this scale. Like, onboarding 1,000 people in a few days quite some volume that I don't think, like, in like one-on-one combat is something that I don't think has been done. I don't know if it's been done on any chain ever. So I think it's an interesting kind of lessons learned. But to pick up on what you were saying, if people are interested or curious about like what we did, how we did it, I'm super happy to answer questions to anybody who wants to write about it or dive deeper into it, because obviously I have a lot to do and I can't like write all of that myself. So there's yeah, I'm super open to answering questions. Hop on a call for a few minutes or whatever to dive deeper into that. And there's one more thing I wanted to say, I forgot. I'll come back to that, but yeah, kick it back to you.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks again for saying that. And yeah, definitely looking forward to Lucas, whatever further contributions you're going to provide. I know we talked about it in that interview, but yeah, just getting more tangible information out there for people who are, just kind of waltzing into this space, who maybe have an idea of what to build. That's kind of an underlying factor of what I wanted to show with Elrond Initiative is, what can we do to help out? But specifically, what does it look like to build? Like, myself, I'm much more artistic. I'm much more focused on like communication and education. So without like a computer science background, it's like, well, geez, like what can I build? Like what could I possibly build on Elrond network? So while I'm not necessarily building computer code, I am utilizing technology, being the Elrond network, native currency and token ESDT token to make this possible. That's why I think it's important to put that information out there to kind of show people like, hey, like we're normal people and we have ideas, and on-chain smokers took and ran with their own thing, as with, the whole ecosystem. So when it comes to, oh yes, Lucas, you have a hand.
I remembered what I was going to say, because you were talking about the ecosystem, and this is what On-Chain Smokers is about. And this is, I think, mentioned in the interview, but it's worth emphasizing, is that we're building this. We happen to build something like this in the cannabis industry, and it's a great, I think, dynamic field, and it's really compatible with blockchain technology. But what we want to do is build a replicable model, right? So it's something that, we're more interested in how we move the space forward together, and how we change the way that businesses are interacting with their customers. So I think that's also like that nexus is where things get interesting, and so that's really something that people, I think it would be really worth diving into, how we can connect people with businesses using blockchain technology, and all of that surrounding topic is much bigger than what we're doing. We're just trying to kind of show a way of doing this, and so that's really like, if people would want to write about that, that's maybe something that I could facilitate if anybody's interested in that, because I think it's really a model that's transferable to different industries, and that's the big picture idea behind it, is to show that. And yeah, so that was just an addition to what I wanted to say, and yeah, super grateful that is highlighted in the Elrond Initiative, and all the contributions so far as well.
Yeah. Sweet. Love it, man. Thanks again for sharing that and giving us more insight to further supplement all the information shared on the interview. So people will definitely appreciate that. So before we open it up to some question and answer and just kind of open dialogue, whatever people might feel like saying, of course, keep it on topic. But yeah, as I mentioned, updated some things with the documentation. Also, I will perpetually update the link in the bio of Elrond Initiative if need be. So if anything ever doesn't work, check those links. And then I wanted to at least just touch slightly on the disbursement schedule. I changed this a little bit from the initial documentation that I released that indicates the ends and beginnings of the era. What this originally represented was the disbursement schedule. So as we kind of noticed, the era one ended on Saturday, but I didn't get around to dispersing everything until Monday or so. So that's why this is corrected here. Is the entity will be dispersed pretty much as quickly as possible after the era ends. But I gave it a little bit extra time so that I could kind of milk a little bit more the whole Reddit page and trying to get some governance there, get some votes in, which I was really happy to see. We've got 15 initiates who have joined, and the top Reddit post had 9 upvotes. So I think altogether, considering maybe some upvotes and some downvotes, it seems like most everybody is taking some time to vote on the posts that they like. So really appreciate that, everybody. Again, this is just this proof of concept that we're all trying to kind of like work through and figure out. I really think that the video that I create that explains the Elrond Initiative will be really valuable, and I'm hopefully going to create that such as a piece that people can refer to and share on Twitter simply, so that people don't have to scroll through this endless document of words, and all they want to do is just figure out how to do it in 10 seconds or less. But yeah, the documentation is there. I think serves a good purpose. So feel free to create some more threads that kind of explain what Elrond Initiative is, so that we can keep on, spreading the word and unlocking that treasury. Season one, I'll try to keep as consistent as possible. Try not to really change anything. But what I can say is that there are moving pieces built into both the treasury and as well as the tokenomics of the entity and Finity tokens. So I'm going to go ahead and say this isn't going to be like a MEX 2.0 1 to 2 weeks thing, but just keep earning entity, because the fact that we've got partnerships now thanks to on-chain smokers, and some other people have been inquiring. It's really truly is kind of igniting this movement. So it's really exciting to see, and looking forward to, I'm not through partnerships, I'm not necessarily looking for Elrond Initiative to receive anything more than just this stamp and seal of approval of like, hey, like Elrond Initiative is doing something cool, so let's kind of like shed some more light through it, through partnerships, through kind of branding side by side. I think it's kind of mutually beneficial naturally in those ways. So yeah, earn that entity. There's really no telling what sort of value or perhaps utility could come with entity. So yeah, keep on earning it, and we'll keep on pushing through season one. We'll have a second meeting. I guess it will be the third third meeting that will be an era 2 meeting, and that will be at some time before. Or rather, sometime after Era 2 ends. So I'll kind of end it with that, and open it up to questions, to conversation, to comments, as long as they're kind of brief and focused on what we're talking about here. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to touch on. The emphasis of this was to announce the partnership. So huge excitement surrounding that. But yeah, thank you again, everybody, for coming in, and yeah, feel free to raise your hand, or I think your mics should be able to be turned on, but if not, I can go ahead and adjust that setting. But yeah, anybody have any questions, any comments, any ideas? I'm just gonna chill here for a little bit and sip my coffee and see what anybody might have to add.
I guess I'll ask something.
Ooh,
I know that you
yes.
created the Medium, right? The Medium post for the Elrond Initiative. That's going to be on Chain Smokers. That's going to be um, the first one on that Medium post, right? Are you thinking about like kind of creating? We talked about in terms of like publishing materials provided contributions from the initiative initiates in a more, like, let's say, visually appealing, like, kind of format that's not a thread. Is that an idea of featuring at least some of the articles on that Medium page in order to make for better, like, visibility and legibility?
That would definitely be something that adds value, I would say. So that's something that I think probably kind of came from our conversation, Lucas, about maybe what OCS would do kind of to bolster the initiative, whether that be adding a Discord server or a Discord bot that does something with it. At this point, it's something that I want to get to, though, being this team of one for now in terms of the logistics of taking care of the contributions and everything. It's not a priority, I will say. I think that I at least need to kind of get a handle on being consistent with reposting the contributions that are made, and then from there, I guess it would be valuable. Maybe I'm not too familiar with Medium, because I think that it would be great to have those in like a more elegant looking article like format, all of which would have to be manually done, which wouldn't be more difficult than just a quick, copy and paste style. But at this point, I'm really just kind of focusing on my media attention per se, on just like the Twitter, and hopefully Reddit gets some drifters kind of coming in to pop in. But yeah, that's something that I don't have. It's not on the plan or the schedule for now. But that's a great idea. But for the time being, there is no formal plan to begin doing that. Although, as with the last meeting, somebody was like, "Oh, what about documentation?" And then I was like, "Okay, yeah, you're right. Documentation would be good." So, as far as I'm concerned, that's something that I can personally add to the list of things to get done with. But also too, I mean, like, if anybody is interested, whether that be, Lucas, or anybody is interested in, kind of stepping up and offering and volunteering to be in charge of making these Medium posts, to kind of go on Reddit and kind of take those contributions that received more upvotes and put them into a Medium article. I could share the email and the password or whatever Medium uses, to somebody who might be interested in volunteering to do that. Thanks for the question, though. Okay, got another question. A video? Are
So,
you? Yeah,
yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
So first of all, I want to say, I don't know, welcome to Lucas. I think he will bring a lot of experience. Um, Also, I was wondering regarding the Telegram group,
Hmm.
if you plan to open it, I don't know, as a second group, or maybe the current group, in order to make it interactive. So I don't know if we need this or not, but right now it's only as an announcement group, right? So we can comment to the post, but not discuss between us. I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe this could.
I didn't know that. Honestly, I
No,
don't.
it's blocked. You cannot do anything. I mean, you can comment, but that's it. It's not like a dialogue. It's just
Gotcha.
like Twitter. So
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe.
I saw people
Yeah.
starting to make some comments, but you're telling me that you can only make comments,
No.
you
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
I need to
Of
take a
course.
Telegram 101.
Yeah. So so yeah. Of course. I don't know how much you use Telegram, but sometimes could be maybe useful, because then you interact more, and yeah, maybe people are really asking directly there, let's say, if they want to ask something. Or
Yeah, yeah.
other than that, not much to add right now. So I'm eager for the, let's say, next phase of this project. Of course, these collaborations are really nice to have. And yeah, looking forward to see the outcome of out of this.
Yeah, appreciate that. And
Yeah.
yeah, just to emphasize, I do apologize because from the very beginning, when I started that Telegram group, I'm just a Telegram noob apparently because that initial group was supposed to be this public, anybody can post and comment type of thing. And then somebody DM'd me and they're like, hey, like you should make one that's a chat too. So I created a chat as well, and it still seems like there's finally a third box that I need to check that actually opens the floodgates to allow people to post messages. So I do apologize for that because I think I talked about it in the beginning, like, oh, like I want people to be chatting and sharing resources. So thanks for bearing with me, and thank you for stepping up and letting me know that still this needs to be the settings need to be adjusted so that people can actually interact the way the Telegram was, really benefits through. So I appreciate that.
Yes, and also the main posts can be pinned, and then everyone can really go through all pinned messages. So basically, when you want to post something which is like an announcement, then goes to pinned message, and then every time you want to see what was in the past, you can very quickly see everything. So it works. I think it also works better than Discord. I'm not deciding, of course, but
Mhm.
for me, Discord is really, I don't know, really hard to use. Let's say I use it, but only to get like what I need. But I'm not spending time on Discord, for example. But with Telegram, it's really easy, and you can upload quickly everything you want, documents, links, everything.
Yeah.
Of course, you need to I don't know how somehow avoid. I mean, put some filters because you might get some spam, and you might get some I don't know. So posting links maybe in the beginning could be like only for the admins or something like that, you know.
Can I jump
Yeah.
on quickly? There might
Yeah.
be a cool feature on Discord coming out. I know, Steven, you're not at all a fan of it, but it's something we'll try out in the OCS Discord. There's a new feature called forums. So it's going to be similar to, to any forum, and rather than having chaotic channels where everybody writes like underneath each other, there will be a way of sorting it. That's what we're going to go with for this like high school thing that will feature the Elrond Initiative things. So that could be, we haven't fully tried it out, but it might be a good way of doing it. Again, like not suggesting that we need a Discord for this group particularly, but it's a way that we'll try out in the OCS Discord. Sorting like contributions in a sensible way. So yeah, just on that might be a cool feature that kind of helps alleviate the Discord pains that we all feel. So yeah, just wanted
Cool.
to throw that in there. Sorry for skipping you, Andre.
Yeah, Andre, it looks like you have your hand raised.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to thank you, Steven and Lucas, for gathering us together today. I think it's a very good meeting, and we can share a lot of information between us. And I strongly agree with what Ovidio said about having maybe a Telegram group, which is less cluttered than Discord. I also use Discord, but I used it mostly in the beginning. Right now, I have a bunch of projects that right now, when I see hundreds of red red dots in there, I just don't enter it anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good idea to share also subjects that we want to make threads on between us, the initiators, or what it's called.
Mhm.
Because we most of us have different ideas, or we are using different tools, and we can share information and make better content and so on, and also avoid making threads that are, let's say, more or less similar and so on. I know this is not the case right now, but it might be in the future. I think when somebody will maybe work on days on a thread, and then somebody else posted another thread just before another one posted it. So I think it's a good idea to share also this kind of information between us. And I don't know, maybe we can have a Telegram group for everyone. Where we can answer quick questions if new people want to join
Sure.
and have questions regarding Elrond network. And another thing I wanted to say is that if we are going to share only information or make threads and so on only about Elrond network and everything exclusively about Elrond network, is that the point mainly of the, I know this is in the name, the Elrond Inti, but I think there are also valuable lessons from other chains as well that we can benefit from and learn and to do better. Ooh, that's a bee.
Watch out!
I saw that.
Damn. Get
Saw
out.
the attack happening. Kill it.
Yeah,
that's
those are great.
mostly
Great
what I wanted to
comments.
say.
Yeah, thank you for that, Andre. Yeah, that's something that I think is kind of this community focused question of, yes, it's the Elrond Initiative, but you're right, there are valuable things that are being done on other chains. So being able to talk about those is going to, it's going to address this kind of overarching idea of, sharing more about blockchain and Web3 and what, ways people are utilizing these tools. So yeah, I guess that's I think something, if it wasn't brought up by you, Andre, on Twitter, then somebody else was asking about that too, like, oh, is this only Elrond? So yeah, I mean, I guess at this point, it's a matter of taking that initiative, making posts that you might feel like aren't so Elrond network focused. But I guess the main emphasis is just kind of, in my opinion, the fact that it's called the Elrond Initiative. It's like I still personally feel like those maybe not non Elrond specific contributions still wrap back around and somehow do kind of, have this kind of a bookend that does remind kind of people like, yes, we learned something here, but Elrond Network just so happens to do some things really well. Just reminding everybody here that the idea for Elrond Initiative came out of this message from Benjamin, that just, he's talking about just progress, and this was on July 4th. I just stumbled upon this sometime random, and yeah, I was just like, what can we do to help the Elrond team in the meantime? So this also addresses, Andre, what you mentioned about, kind of communicating together and make sure that maybe we don't do, spend all this time on a post and then somebody posts just before us some similar topic. It's like, yeah, maybe ideally we are able to coordinate in this way, but the way I see it, it's like, I mean, I'm just gonna kind of say it, Trent, like just straight up how I would say it. It's like I don't really, I'm not too concerned about having repeat posts like that. Even though, or even if they do happen like almost simultaneously, like, the good work will, attention will come to the work that, it adds value and it makes sense and adds that content. So I think that's something to keep in mind for sure, is kind of making sure that we don't, kind of compete with each other in any way. But I mean, the more the merrier, the more the merrier. Am I saying that right? As far as these contributions go, and just bringing it right back down to this, this statement is, well, shoot, like what I mean, if Elrond Initiative just made thread after thread of these simple threads on what DeFi is, on farming, it's like, honestly, like the expectation with Elrond Initiative is that in fact we will have a lot of repeat content, content that people have written 10, 20, there's enough entity to go around to make more than 1,000 contributions. So if people want to get together, and once I open up that Telegram group to open up that discourse among initiates, like, here we go, like, take initiative. Like, if you want to kind of put it out there and say, like, hey everybody, I'm doing this thread, that helps. And I think that could keep people on their toes to make sure that we do provide a kind of a diverse array of content. But yeah, we very well could have the same style, the same topics of threads over and over again. But I think the emphasis there is just like, well, they would still each be coming from a new or unique person, sharing in their own words, sharing from their own kind of perspective to their own audience. And, that's filtered into the initiative and cast back out through quote tweets and tweets. Something to keep in mind for sure, something to, take initiative on. But as far as I'm concerned, one of the three pillars being Ignite, I want this to be pretty much like a fire that really just kind of goes out of control, and we have a bigger issue of, oh geez, like, we have too many threads, then obviously we don't have enough threads and contributions being made. So that's where kind of my brain is at. Not to say that we're looking for quantity over quality. Obviously the quality should still be at forefront. But as far as quantity goes, we're trying to ignite this movement to eliminate Elrond network as, a or the elite L1 layer 1 protocol. But yeah, those are some good comments, Andre, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to add that I just wanted to bring this up so we can have a discussion about it, because it was just a thought that I had. So
yeah.
Now that you said all this, it made me think that even if you write a thread about something, Twitter, it has like a lifespan of 24 hours. So if some people see certain information in a day, it doesn't matter if in another week the post is about, it's similar to the other one, because there will be new people seeing the threads and so on. So I think, yeah, now that you mentioned, I think it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, actually.
Cool. I'm glad that you kind of see that through. But yeah, that's still, a good point to make. It's like, specifically once that Telegram group is open for people to converse back and forth, which again, I'm sorry about that, everybody. Like, the whole idea is like this team and camaraderie and everything, and it's like, I've accidentally like gate kept this medium of communication. So as soon as I get off, I'll address that so that we can all join together and start bouncing ideas off of each other, so we don't need to wait for a meeting like this to share our thoughts, so that we can just open up this stream. Alrighty, we're approaching the hour mark, which is kind of what I was aiming for in terms of wrapping up. So if anybody else has anything to add, any other questions, feel free to drop them in. So I'll kind of just look for hands to be raised. And while doing so, I'll just kind of close this out here by saying, yeah, again, thank you for being here. Thank you for all of the contributions made during Era 1. Definitely, I think one of the things that I was definitely not most excited to see. I was most excited to see the contributions, but probably maybe second place. I still feel like, these people deserve some formal recognition, but there are people who were not making threads, were not formally contributing to Elrond Initiative, but they were definitely talking about it. They were tagging Elrond Initiative in posts. They were finding questions that people were asking and tagging Elrond Initiative. And, I'm able to see that and quote tweet it and kind of bring it into Elrond Initiative and throw it out for people to address questions. So that was, I would say, one of the more exciting things, developments that I saw, was people actually taking the Elrond Initiative as this tool, as this group of people who have, committed to saying like, hey, we're here, like we're here to learn and contribute. And I think that is like super cool. Like it's representing this well of knowledge and community members that are eager and excited to help each other out. So probably look out as we kind of get into the day. For me anyway, it's only 8 a.m. Out here in California, so my day's just getting started. I'll be posting the article for the partnership between Elrond Initiative and On-Chain Smokers, making a tweet about that too, which I have yet to put together. But then that interview that I had with Lucas and Willem, I'm really excited to share that and show some love towards the OCS team through that interview. But altogether, great work, everybody. Awesome to see the contributions made, people digging into something that might be a little bit uncomfortable for them, like writing something that seeks to educate people. It's like, I know that it might sound intimidating. Oh, making these contributions. Oh, like we're teaching people. It's like we're all just like humans, and we're here to help out. And I'm excited to continue to see contributions come in, and people kind of just express their own brains and their own writing styles to get that content out in front of new eyes. I think in closing, what can be focused on top of keeping the contributions coming in, is just kind of keeping the radar open for people who have questions, or especially if you see somebody just in the Twitter sphere create a Twitter thread and you just happen to come across it, like let them know. Like, if they don't want to join because they think that this is like some cult or something, like that's on them. But I really want people to learn that Elrond Initiative is here and that there's a community to join. That was something that blew my mind whenever I discovered the Elrond network community on Twitter, going on 1 year ago. It was like, oh my gosh, like there are actually people here who like know what they're talking about and are excited to share. Elrond Initiative is this place that we can all kind of band together and create this well of knowledge, to answer questions and create these contributions that seek to educate and raise awareness on Elrond Network. So, with that being said, thank you so much again. I'll just kind of close out here. If anyone has any final statements to make, or if you want to say a quick goodbye.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. And
Yeah,
I'll
thanks for
see you
coming
on
in.
Twitter.
Really appreciate it.
Nice to
Have a
see you.
good
Nice
one.
to meet you. Thank you all. See you soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See you next time. Goodbye.
Yeah. We'll see ya. Everybody have a great day. And
Yes.
reach out and look for that Telegram group to be opened up. The floodgates shall be opened. I promise.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks again, everybody. And everyone have a beautiful day.